Welcome into the Film Guy Network. It's football season, which means I've got a film study for you. What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grab some tape. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Monday morning here inside the studio. Promised you 3 film studies, or 4 total, 3 more after yesterday's leading up to the national title. Here is study number 2. We're going to look at Miami's defense today. Looked at Miami's offensive performance against Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl yesterday. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't watched it, you should. Some good stuff over there and some yards left on tape for that Miami football team. Though, Jonathan, I think the massive amounts of opportunities left on the field for this Miami Hurricanes football team out in the Fiesta Bowl was on the defensive side of the football. Because I think they dropped like 4 interceptions. All right, 3 damn sure should have had. All right, maybe a 4th that was like beeble-bobbled all up over a couple of people and then fell to the turf. But a couple that were like, we got to go the other way with that one. Plays that need to be made in the national title. We talked yesterday about how Miami's offense needs to avoid critical errors, self-harm, things like that, where moments in drives where we end up in 2nd and 19s, end up in 3rd and 12s, those are bad situations against that Indiana defense. You almost feel like for 14 plays, you kind of have to play perfect, right, in order to score against that Indiana defense. It feels the same way against this Miami defense. This Miami defense is damn good, all right, filled with dudes, and they hunt the rock. Really, really fun to watch here today with this defensive side of the football. And like I said, left plenty of opportunities on the tape. Now, you'll look at the score and you'll say, damn, Ole Miss put up some points. They did. They scored 17 points in a matter of about a minute and 50 seconds in this football game. A 75-yard touchdown run from Keonte Scott like that. 3 points in a 2-minute right before the half like that. And 7 points in about 65 seconds right before the end of the football game like that in a 2-minute drill. So other than that, they made it really, really difficult on this Ole Miss offense, and particularly really difficult on Chambliss, who made some dynamite throws in this one. Hey, got a couple of rules around here if you are new. If you learned anything about the game of football today, you must subscribe. If you learned anything about your favorite football team today, you must subscribe. If you have any fun at all today, you must subscribe. Let's shut up and let's grind the tape. How about Miami? The death march offense of a machine that is the Miami Hurricanes, Jonathan. How about them out-snapping this rat-a-tat-tat, trying to take a bunch of cracks at it, offense Ole Miss by, I think, like 25. Like a 96 or 94 snap offensive performance from Miami, and I think Ole Miss took about 67. Like that's how you do it. That's how you hold clock. That's how you matriculate the football. That's how you grind it out. Now, we do not expect that to be the case against Indiana. We expect both of these teams to be very methodical. Thus, both of these teams probably won't get a bunch of cracks at it in the national title. So we got to be really, really clean throughout the football game. First things first, about all of these defensive backs in this football game, they have elite triggers, all right? I want y'all to watch this young man down here, all right? All of these defensive backs that I've watched to close the season, they are playing with such confidence in zone coverage. Now, a lot of them aren't getting asked to bump and run all that much because we got dudes and quarterbacks playing elite football right now, all right? But they're elite in zone coverage, and they trust their instincts, and they rally to the rock. Watch this young man down here, okay? Now, they did present a little bit of some man-to-man looks every once in a while, play a little bit of cover 7 in this football game, but there we go. We're rolling off playing cover 3. Now, I love this, all right? I love this because we allow our defensive backs to have their eyes in the backfield, all right, and allow them to not only help out in the run game, but really the screen game too, because we see what's happening in front of us instead of trailing and running with whatever we're covering, all right? So I love this. Watch 6 down here on the bottom. Boom, trigger down and break on the football. That's as good as it gets, right, Jonathan? That's what we need right there to start football games. We've seen Ole Miss turn this into 7 or 8 yards or, God forbid, 75 because they break a tackle. Not going to happen against this unit. They rally. They sprint to the football. Love these DBs, man. Okay? Love these DBs. This just, oh, yeah. I know what happens here. All right. I love this from number 3. All right. This is really smart instinctual football. All right. They have, I think, 5 super seniors, Jonathan, guys that are in their 6th year of college football or beyond. Messidor is one of them. He plays really highly instinctual football, as does Keonte Scott, as does Carson Beck, as does C.J. Daniels. You see what I'm saying? They got old dudes at really, really pivotal positions that are playing really high-end football right now and really instinctual football because they've played a lot of snaps. We call this a retrace in the football world. Watch number 3, realize it's run, realize it's going to hit front side, and now he's going to do what we call bubble. All right, he's going to bubble back around and boom, now make the tackle at +2 instead of bananaing all the way back around and chasing feet that we're never going to run down. All right, love that from number 3 right there, being a really, really instinctual retracer of the football right there. Great job. Okay, so now we got him in a 3rd and long, right? That's what we got him in, okay, or a 3rd and 4 rather, all right? And now we're going to force some one-on-ones in pass pro, which is what I think this defensive coordinator did a really, really good job of in this Ole Miss matchup, right? Got some simulated pressure right here. We're going to drop Messidor again. We're going to drop one of the 2 linebackers over here, but not after we show pressure, right? We want to make sure that guard puts his hands on us right there, does Basante, I think is how we pronounce that. All right, we make sure that guard puts our hands on us, and now we got that free runner from Toure against Kewan Lacey right there. And now Lacey had been elite in pass protection, Jonathan. I mean, absolutely elite. But here's what Toure does a great job of, and you'll see it from the type. We make him pick a side, we make him declare, and then we give him the move, all right? Watch Lacey. He had been a very, very aggressive downhill pass protector, all right? He hadn't been passive. He hadn't been catching these guys. He'd been hunting with the screws. So let's make him do that and then make him miss on the first snap we get an opportunity to. I would imagine Kewan Lacey changes his approach in pass protection the more and more we get into this football game. But that's a great rep on snap number 1 from Toure, creating a pressure, or at least opportunity number 1 on 3rd down, we get up off the field, okay? Another elite trigger right here from number 6. Both of these corners, Pons and 6 and 24, and the other number, I forget the other number that plays the other side, 22, the other corner for Indiana, all of them very instinctual, very heavy on the trigger, downhill. They play with a forward tilt almost in coverage. Which one of these offenses got time to double move on Monday night? That's my question. Which one of these offenses got an opportunity to go out and up? All right, which one of these offenses got an opportunity for a sluggo, maybe a Hugo? Because we got really, really aggressive corners down here, all right, in run support and pass pro. Look at, or in their coverage. I mean, that's another, now I know we missed the tackle, but that's another elite trigger down on the football, holding at least turning it back to our teammates and eliminating yards after the catch from the corner right there. Both these defenses, we got to protect the football when we're up, right? When we get held up like that rep right there, we got to be very, very careful because there ain't no jogging or loafing to the football. We used to count loafs in football worlds, Jonathan, the defensive film guy or offensive film guy sitting there and that guy's loafing. And we tell by body tilt, right? When I'm forward leaning and I'm sprinting, right? I'm jogging, right? It's as easy as that when we grade loafs. I would venture to say that national championship caliber defenses do not have loafs. They just don't. All right? They just don't. These 2 defenses will hunt the rock. We got to protect it at all times. If we're inside the 53.5, we better be protecting the football. Now, question, Jonathan, because this is not something we teach. All right, we teach, ball's getting thrown outside or ball is pressing outside. We need to go through the face or over the top, right? All right, he is going to absolutely avoid all the way inside and then banana peel out to chase the rock. That's only something that speed allows us to do, okay? Number 8, I think it's Jacoby Thomas. Will you get me a name on number 8? An elite football player is going to take over this film study at points today, okay? Somebody you have to be aware of if you're an offensive football player.
It is Jacoby Thomas.
Jacoby Thomas. I mean, he plays football like a lunatic. We call that block avoidance, right? We're not running through the block. We're not button and pressing. We're avoiding the block because we have a bigger player in front of us and we're a better athlete than him. This note just says they play downhill and aggressive, which means I was probably watching these 7 players. Watch these 7 players and their general body lean, all right, as the play begins. We got a bunch of dudes working downhill, all right? Boom. It's Thomas again out here at the safety position. Look how quickly he triggers and breaks up the football. They about intercept this one. And they're going to hit you, man. Or at least going to try to get to you. That's Keonte Scott. And they throw this pressure so much, by the end of the game, Chambliss is doing this one. Chambliss is like, all right, that one's coming, so I better watch out for him as this play begins. And they start throwing concepts away from him instead of into his face like they have right here. Are they in 3-by-1 to the field? It's such a great blitz, all right? Why, Jonathan? Because we know 3-by-1 to the field, odds are they're probably working their concepts this way, right? They're probably doing whatever their route tree is, whatever it is. If it's this, if it's this, all right, whatever it is. They're working over here, odds are, 3-by-1. So let's blitz into their face right here, right? Might get some pressure into the face of the quarterback, which is exactly what we do right here. We make the throw a little bit more difficult. Boom. I have really enjoyed down the stretch here watching Toure play football. I think he paces the ball carrier exceptionally well. I very rarely see this young man overrun the ball carrier, okay? He's just going to pace it, force the cutback, and then fall in on the play every single time. Very rarely will overrun you, okay? Just that gallop. You see that? Mm-hmm. Our feet almost stayed in the same exact spot, but we're gaining ground. All right? There's 1-2 crossovers there, and then at every other point, our feet are shoulder width and never outside of our hip box either. Ready to strike. Now, this will get you. Now, I don't know if anybody from Indiana's got this kind of go-go like Kewan Lacey, but we take 2 bad angles here. One of them, ironically, not the starting safety. All right, we get a backup in here. All right, whatever personnel we got in here, and 13 takes a really bad angle against a great back. We can't do this. All right, now, I know he's rotating into the box. You see that, Jonathan? They're showing too high, all right, and then they're going to break it and play 3 behind it. He's rotating into the box, but we can't sprint to the box. We got to almost like crawl towards the box. All right, we are the last hole. We are the last filler, okay? You're not catching that guy even with a torn hamstring. You can really see it from the tight. I think 7's got a bad angle too. Once he realizes it's into the open, we cannot be doing this because we're going to do it. We need to cut him across his face. But 13's the one who cooks it from the jump. Ooh, we're way down into there, bub. We're in trouble. We need to be back up here, okay? Now, here's the difference between these 2 quarterbacks at this point, all right? And to me, I felt like Chambliss going into the football game. I didn't feel like Chambliss left any yards on tape versus Georgia. Now, they did not create as much havoc. They did not limit the run game as much as Miami did. So tip to the cap there to the Hurricanes. That's why I think the quarterback played this way. But we got a switch release down here on the bottom to Winnie Watkins. And I'm telling you right now, I think Mendoza rips this back shoulder every single time. You're committed. We have this. I'm going to throw it over here, and we're going to get a 20-yard chunk right here, no doubt. All right, but this quarterback's already clicked off and checking off. All right, and he's checking down. And we pick up 8 yards here, and that's fine. All right, but Indiana's going to get 20. And that's the difference right there between, Ole Miss scoring what they're scoring or being what they are and Indiana being what they are, in my opinion, and the quarterbacks, rather. We still win, right? As an offense, it's 1st and 10. We turned it into 2nd and 3. We still win, all right? I'm not being hypercritical of the quarterback. I'm just saying I have seen this quarterback that y'all are about to play. If there is grass, it seems to me right now the Heisman winner is hitting it, all right? So there's that. Getting pressure on him, though. That's the right tackle, just having slow feet and overcommitting his face to the fan. Now, the notes just say we can't do – oh, I know what this is. Yeah, we can't do this. We cannot at all. What is this, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 3? We cannot give them 15 yards in the middle of the field because we get overzealous and want to hit the quarterback in the face. We cannot do this. Now, I believe Justin Scott's a sophomore, Jonathan. I believe he is, but, we're at this point, man, we've been in college for 2 years, and we know they protect quarterbacks. They protect quarterbacks, and we can't do that. What do you got?
He is a sophomore.
He is a true sophomore, all right? Really highly talented football player, is playing his best football to date right now, all right? But we can't do that stuff. We can't do the stuff that 11 does in this football game, all right? Jumps off sides and gets a late personal foul. We can't do stuff like that. We can't give up 30 yards of field position in a game where we think there might be 650 yards of total offense, all right? So we can't be doing that type of stuff. It was very interesting to see, Jonathan. They played, a bunch of bump and run against Ohio State. In this football game, they opened up showing, too high, breaking the bracket and playing cover 3 off of it. And they will ultimately play some cover 7 a little bit later. But this was kind of their base defense in this football game, so much so that Charlie Weiss is eventually going to start spraying it with Sale, okay, which is taking a number 3 wide receiver and running this while taking the first 2 and running that, all right? But where are we vulnerable in cover 3, Jonathan?
Seams and flats.
Seams and flats, that's right. Chambliss knows that too. That's an elite throw. All right, that's an elite throw into a zone window. I show you this, okay, and it's great. I love that you mix the looks because you got to. And it's really hard to do against a team playing with this much pace, all right? We're going to have to mix the looks against Indiana, a team that huddles. So they're going to do it totally different. They're going to huddle, and then right before the play clock's ready and they need the full operation to run out all the motions that they're going to do, they're going to break the huddle, and then you're going to have to get a line, and then they're going to flip the formation. They're going to take somebody across, all right? Very similar to what you do offensively, honestly. So you might be prepared for that, having played your offense a ton, all right? But we got to mix the looks versus these guys as well. But yeah, Chambliss rips us into a zone window right here that we've kind of shown him for a couple of snaps now. Got to mix the looks against all these great quarterbacks, all right? But the great thing is here, they get him down on the ground, all right? All these, semi-explosives, apart from the Kewan Lacey one, were 16 to 17 yards instead of 65 to 75 yards. We cannot give up explosives. I think I can't overemphasize it enough. I think some of these corners get double moved. You can't run downhill this hard on me. All right, I'm not going to let you. Not for 4 quarters. I can't let you trigger like this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. All right, it does too much damage. It eliminates my screen game. It allows it eliminates my intermediate to underneath throwing game. All right, and it opens up some of those explosive stuffs. I freaking love zero, man. I love me some Keonte Scott. Love it. The rare, Jonathan, I think we're going to lose stories where kids are going JUCO and they make it out. You know what making it out is nowadays? Going to Georgia Southern for a year and then getting $1 million because you racked up down there. Making it out nowadays is going Division II football and then going to Clemson. You know what I mean? That's getting out the mud. Getting out the mud used to was Hutchinson Community College. You go out there in the middle of bumfrick Mississippi or Kansas, and you got to survive for 8 months off of some slop that they're feeding you at the mess hall. You know what I'm talking about? That's a different type of love for football, and we're about to lose those types of stories, and that's okay, all right? But that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to really, truly get it up out the mud. This kid plays physical, he plays firm, and he ain't messing around, all right? Love Keonte Scott. Now, we've had it out the mud for a little while. We was at Auburn, and now we're here, but we still came up from community college, dog. And there ain't many stories like that nowadays. All right, I up until this point, Jonathan, to me, we're going to go long today. I can already feel it. To me, Miami's defense was almost simplistic in nature the first couple of playoff games. Kind of lined up and played ball. Would you agree? Yeah. And just beat people with dudes. All right, on this snap alone, they're going to show a simulated pressure. They're going to disguise the coverage, and they're going to throw a twist. Not bad. Not bad. So they're maybe I think they got to a point where the first three matchups, they were like, we can line up and play football. And then this matchup, they're like, you know what I mean? We still got it in the tank. I think they got it in the tank. There's a lot here. We're showing middle of the field open, right? It's about to close post-snap. We're showing almost a man-to-man look, right? It ain't finna be that post-snap, all right? We're going to roll out of some crazy stuff right here. We're actually going to play one high over this. We're going to drop the corner into one high over this. We're going to close the middle of the field with a bunch of middle hook curl defenders. All right, we were showing 7 rushing. We're actually only going to rush 4. There looks to be some open options right here, right, for the quarterback. Yep. Open. All right, we're running vertically up here. Like, we got some open options. But guess what we're going to force? We're going to force some indecisiveness from the quarterback. We're going to force a scramble, and we're going to get him outside of the pocket, all right, because we're winning at the rush point. But the quarterback was confused, wasn't he? How could he not be confused at the top of his drop? We just gave him a bunch of different stuff. All right, let's watch the rush from the tight. All right, I think we dropped both linebackers, maybe rush one of them. We definitely overload the rush on one side. I love this about Sim's simulated pressures lately, right? Like, we're going to walk up a bunch, all right, and we're only going to really bring 4 of those 5 that we walked up. Sorry, we accidentally hit the fast forward button there. We're only going to bring 4, maybe 5 of the 6 or 7 that we walked up. But, you know, we're going to overload one side of the protection. I love that. We're going to overload the left side here away from the back, send 3 versus their 2, and get a flushed pocket. And throw away. Bring on that field goal unit. This note just says, love the way 8 plays, man. Where's he at? Up here at the middle of the field. Look at this trigger and downhill, man. Look at this. Just no indecisiveness from 8 ever in a football game, in my opinion. Not as of late. We're just back there lurking. I think we get hooked up with number 2 over there, and boom. Look at that closing speed, Jonathan. That's how you play ball. And I think he's 6'2", 205.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, they hunt, man. All right, so I think the pre-snap identification and disguise right here, showing this too high look, but if you can really tell from the all-22, they are slightly on different levels. If they're on different levels pre-snap, they're really going to be on different levels post-snap. But as a quarterback, there's no way you can see that 1.5 yard difference, right? But from the all-22, you can. All right, but watch. We show too high pre-snap. We're going to break that and show 1 high post-snap. Now we're back into that cover 3 look, right? Butt to the sideline, middle of the field's closed. Where are we vulnerable? Seams and flats. We're vulnerable right there in our seam, aren't we? But guess what? The quarterback's already throwing the ball down into the flat over here. The ball's already been checked down. I think our pre-snap disguise saves a touchdown right here in 2 minutes. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So just changing looks alone protects us a little bit. Now, my question to you is, if we give up yardage against Mendoza, do we just all assume it's just swallowed up? No different than I would assume every third and 2 for Miami's offense is finna be a first down, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
We can't have yards on tape. You know what I mean? We in the back end, we got to play clean. I love this look from Miami. It's a 2nd and 12 in a 2-minute. It's an automatic passing down, right? We call nickel 5 DBs, right? For some reason, we call dime 6 DBs. What would you call 7? Quarter? But quarter is a style of defense. We can't be just yelling quarter.
I don't know.
Well, we got 7 DBs on the field, so I don't know what we call it, but they call it something. We have, look at the box, by the way. We have, no, did I miscount it? Oh, no, this is 7 DBs. Sorry, play 25. This is 7 DBs. All right, here's the personnel we have on the field. This is my man Messador, all right, NFL rusher, we'd agree. Yep. This is my man Ruben Bain, certified NFL rusher. All right, and this is the former 5-star Marquise Lightfoot, number 12, that we've been fanning over since we saw him against Texas A&M bend the hoop. All right, and then that linebacker hanging out in the middle, that's Basante, who we know can run like a deer as well at 6'2", 230 pounds. All right, now we have 7 DBs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and number 23 is the 7th DB. He don't play a lick of football outside of this snap for my mind or for my memory in this football game. It's the only snap in the game that they really dust this off. They play a couple of it in 2 minutes. Watch the recognition and the instincts that this dude plays with. By the way, we're going to see a very similar rep from a freshman corner a little bit later. But watch him just absolutely do everything he's supposed to right here. This is great. We reroute the third receiver, all right? We're going to get hands on him and disrupt the timing on Caden Lee. That's so paramount, all right? And then after, what should we do? We should expand to where the rest of the threats are, right? We don't have anything behind us. All 3 threats are right here in front of us. So he's going to expand. Put hands on 3 and then expand into the flats. And not only is he taking away Caleb Oldham if that ball gets caught, but now he's smart enough to get his eyes up and get his hands onto the ball in the window right here. It's elite football right there from 24. The only thing that could be better, or 23, the only thing that could be better is actually to pick the football off, right? Yep. Boom. Great job. Again, a kid that I think this is play 25 of the football game. I can almost guarantee you, apart from special teams, it's the first time he's been rolled out onto the turf. And we make a play like that? Hell yeah, son. Hey, we'll take a quick minute to give a shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. What a great time to be here on this network this year, but also a great time to be with our friends over at Sleeper. Go over to Sleeper today, the #1 place for daily fantasy and prop plays. Sleeper Picks is a real money product that connects friends over picks. Choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame, live, or even across different sports. Pick more than or less than the predicted stats. It's that simple. On Sleeper, you can get up to 100x payouts, share with your friends, and get rewarded today. Use promo code Brooks, as you see on the screen, on Sleeper and get 100% deposit match up to $100. Again, that's sleeper.com/promo/Brooks. Terms and conditions apply. Boys, as you know, we're about 28 minutes at the time of this ad read from the kickoff of NFL Sunday. So go ahead, run over to Sleeper right now. I'll give you permission to leave the stream actively. Go over to Sleeper, get a play in right quick, and get paid. We appreciate those folks over there at Sleeper. Again, that's promo code Brooks over there on Sleeper. All right, so I think we're already into the second half. Yeah, we are. So I think, if my memory serves me, I think Miami took 64 snaps or something like that in the first half, and they took 27. So that'll do it. That'll do it right there. That's damn good tilting the field possession football right there. That's the A-gap theory. Shout out Will Compton. All right, that's what that is. But here's what we're trying to do. I don't think they need to do this. I wouldn't do this against Indiana. Do you feel as if Miami needs to add extra bodies to the box to stop the run?
No.
I don't think so either. I don't think you need to do this. I think we're exposing ourselves now. Now we have to play cover 7. All right, we got Meg over here. Man everywhere he goes. All right, we got safety over on the right side of the field because we're trying to play 4 over 3. Do you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I think we're a little bit too vulnerable when we don't need to be, especially because, like, you could say, hey, great coverage. We're right there in his hip, aren't we? Guys, we saw Oregon give up about 21 points worth of field position and scores with great coverage, right in the hip. These back shoulders from Indiana are legit. They're real. All right, so if you play any type of man-to-man coverage, it feels like you're almost certain to give up 20 yards. We don't need to be doing that. All right, we need to avoid committing ourselves to the box like this, all right, against Indiana, in my opinion. All right. One thing I do love about watching this Miami defense, Jonathan, they very clearly have had multiple plans, right? They've had multiple plans in multiple football games that we've watched them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they came out playing stuff that they hadn't played or doing things that they think might create problems for you. That's what good defenses do. That's what good football teams do, in my opinion. They make you vulnerable. I mean, there is no defense for a perfect ball, right? There's no defense for a perfect ball. Probably could get a little closer, get a little hands in there late. I don't know. We can coach that up somehow, some way, I'm sure. Whew. Two of my favorite guys right here. We got Caden Lee running the deep over. I think this is Jacoby Thomas about to lay a stick. Just two damn good football players, man. We got one hyping up his sideline. We got one fitting to let the world know that wasn't nothing. We're going to give him a little. Come on now. Ugh. Go ahead and give him the big slime, Caden. Yep. What would be your first down, Selly? I think I'd rock the baby.
Just give a point.
You're just a pointer?
Yeah, man. Get back on the ball.
Spot the ball.
Yeah.
Love it.
Come on, baby.
Love it for you, man. Spot the ball. Love that for you. All right. We got to make these plays, Jacoby. Come on. Rolling back into 3. We see it. We showed too high. Now we're back into cover 3. All right, which makes him, as Nick Saban would say, a rat player. All right, he gets his eyes on the quarterback in that mid-hole of the defense, and now he gets to float around and feel out where the concept's going, right? Be a little rat down there. Chase the cheese. Oh, we got the cheese. It's right there. But we leave our feet. Do you see us prepare to jump right here? Because we think the quarterback might see us right there. That is dead giveaway. I'm trying to leave my feet, isn't it? I gather. I go to throw 2 hands up. All right, and now we're up off the ground when this ball arrives and it hits us in our gullet, and we end up dropping it. Let's pick drop number 3.
I think so, yeah.
Whew. Come on, man. We got to go the other way with this in the natty. We got to. We got to go the other way with that. I mean, what in the world do my notes say right here, Jonathan? Cover 7 verse 3x1, QB duds, great stab at the top. What was I doing at 1:30 in the morning last night? What is that? All right, I know what we got. We got cover 7 down here, right? We got Meg at the top versus the 3x1 look. All right, so now Ole Miss has figured out they will play cover 7 versus 3x1. All right, Sale's going to work versus cover 7. Sale's also going to work versus cover 3. Nonetheless, that's what we got. We got man coverage up here, and my God, what a stab do we have from this corner. Watch this inside hand right here, Jonathan. Watch it stab the left pectoral. Boom. That's it right there. We're going to win the rep now. We're going to get him to the sideline because guess what? The sideline is mi amigo, right? The sideline is my friend. Great rep right there at the top by the corner, all right? Now, what did the quarterback dud? What did he do wrong? Oh, he just, I don't know. We got a bust right here by somebody. They're trying to run into this vertical right here, and we're hooking up right here, and the quarterback throws it in between the both of them. So I don't know what we got going on there. Quarterback duds. I know what Mendoza will do there. He's going to trust the back shoulder to the X, whoever's megged. I know he will. Okay, so we got to win there. But they've been throwing so much junk at this kid, good junk, by the way, as a defense, that I felt like this was the latest that this young quarterback had played the entire time. We're going to get back to the winner on the backside here to Harrison Wallace in just a second, all right? But this ball being thrown now, do you see it coming out of his hands now? As the wide receiver is turning out of his break, that's already late because this corner, who's not giving up a bunch of grass, that corner in zone coverage is about to drive down on the football and break this ball up, and we're about to have an incompletion. When we need to be throwing this as he's entering his break, as he's coming out of his break, get the Diddy counter ready, the ball better be on his face, okay? That's where it better be. But instead, we're kind of waiting at the top of the drop now, or waiting at the top of the route now as a wide receiver, and the quarterback or the corner is driving down, breaking this up. All right. But again, I think we have some indecisiveness at the quarterback position because we don't quite know what we're getting. Miami's been throwing a bunch of stuff at us right here through the first 31 snaps of the football game. And then he does this. This is an absolute rip. I think this is the rolling to the right backside crosser. Nope. Yeah, it is. This right here is goofy. All right. I left thinking that, shit. This kid, I know we're hoping that we get a sixth year because Ole Miss wants to pay us $17 million to play college football again. But, guys, I think we might be one of the better quarterbacks in this draft. All right. Because the question about him was a height, weight, speed thing. Will it translate? Yeah. Yeah. He scrambles and runs away from this unit at some points in this football game. But this throw right here, draft him. Give him to me. I'll put him on the squad. Trace McSorley got to play in the league for 10 years. Good God Almighty. Take your butt to Sunday League, son. Watching this one live was goofy. Great job, Stribbs. Great job, Stribbs. We got to tackle better. We got some work out there at Miami. All right, we got to catch the football. We got to tackle a little bit better defensively, right? What's our timestamp right here, Jonathan?
36.
Now, we talk all the time on this channel about replacing the high hole. All right, so if you're a corner over here, we're about to break the bracket again and play some cover three. One of these safeties ends up adding into the box. One of them's running a deep hole. There we go. All right, so this safety gets occupied by this crosser, and then they're running the backside post. They're running the common concept called scissors. All right, I'm pretty sure. We'll take one good look at it. Yep. We're running two scissors versus cover three, trying to occupy that middle field safety and outrun the leverage of this corner. Now, this corner on the top side, if he was just a jamoke, if he didn't know ball, if he didn't have instincts, he would just hang out in this cover three, right? And he just, it's a dead play. Nobody's in my area. Nobody's in your area. Go find somewhere to work. Look at him. He's finding ways to work, a place to work. And where's the place to work? Go replace the mid-hole player. The mid-hole player has been occupied. You have nobody threatening anywhere over your side of the field, is there? There is nobody from Ole Miss over here. Take your butt to work. That's exactly what he does right here, and he damn near causes an interception. Now, we get our butt there. Let's make the play, son. Let's make the play. Great job, though. That's what we talk about when we say, are you a defense that teaches your defensive backs to replace the high hole players when there are no threats in their area? What a great rep by the backside corner right there. Full intent the entire time he was going to go make a play, wasn't he? Now let's go finish, man. Let's go finish. Both you and 24. Come on, O'Connor. I about made an Irish joke there. A pot of gold just right there for you, son. We got to take it home, dog. Come on, man. I don't think he's Irish, Jonathan. All right, let's talk about him again, though. Hey, what do we got? Down goes the Buffalo. What do we got right here, Jonathan? We got outside leverage, right? What also do we have? We got safety help in the middle of the field, right? So if he wants to run vertical, he's going to have a mandatory inside release because we got help to the inside. We do not have help to the outside. We're going to get beat if we let an outside release right here, right? So watch O'Connor. We have no choice right here at wide receiver but to release inside. That's fine. I don't even care if you gain ground. Guess what? I got a safety that's been triggering like a madman all football game, and he sees already the ball is coming out. So he's already moving, isn't he, Jonathan? We got tremendous leverage on this vertical right here at corner and safety. That's how it's done. All right. Now, the question is, can we do that against Indiana? I think Indiana steps on the toes of corners as good as any wide receiver group that I have seen to date. They do not lose ground. All right, so if you're in bump and run, that mesh point of them swimming over your outside shoulder, it's going to happen at 2 yards on your side of the ball. All right, they're not going to do none of this yada, yada, yada at the line of scrimmage. They're going to do that yada, yada at your feet at 2 yards. You'll see that on the film studies tomorrow, okay? But this is what I know that y'all can do. I know y'all can get in these situations, all right? At some point, whether or not they're going to go on 12-play drives, is Indiana. They don't have a willingness to be like right now. They take their shots in plus territory. They don't take 75-yard bomb shots. All right, they're trying to work the ball methodically, work possession, maintain field position, and be like a boxer controlling the ring. That's what they want to be. All right, and then when they get in plus territory, they're going to take their shots. But at some point, we got to earn this so we can rush them. You know what I mean? Because I know for a fact y'all are going to create massive amounts of havoc on 3rd and 10. Because I know what y'all have up here, right? I know y'all can create major problems. We got to get into the situation where we can earn that right, all right, as a defense. I mean, I know they're going to be able to rush. You're going to see on the Indiana offensive film study tomorrow, I think there's a donkey 2 rush, right? I think I know who we're going to get after. But they've been lately putting Messidor and Bain on the same side and really getting after the donkey, all right? This is the lone NFL football player, in my opinion, on this offense, and he had a rough night as well. Because we got another 5-star over here that's suddenly dropping out of nowhere. Whew, Messidor's quick, isn't he? Mm-hmm. All right, here comes that Sale versus cover 7, though. I told you we knew we were going to get cover 7 versus 3-by-1, right? So they're playing zone over here, almost like a one high over the top. All right, we got man everywhere he goes over here. Safety's got free eyes to roam and lurk wherever he wants, potentially add into the run count. All right, but the Sale concept over here really, really works versus this. We're going to drive vertically into his zone, taking care of him, and then we're going to break the tight end off for a good 20-yard chunk. Just some love to the Ole Miss folks there, showing that their coordinator still got it. All right, now here's what I want you guys to notice, and here's what I think Sig's really, really good at, okay? He's really, really good at watching film. He says he's just obsessed, right? Their whole team watches a lot of film, so much so that people think there's some suspicious activity going on. No says I. Anyways, this is what I think he's great at. I think he's great at watching what teams did to you and seeing where you're vulnerable. I think you're vulnerable right here, right? Where we have the tight end into the boundary, all right? We have 2 wide receivers, and what you do is you bump Torrey out here and put Keonte Scott into run support, which is fine. Keonte is really, really physical, but he's not a linebacker, all right? So watch his run fit right here against counter. I don't love this. We got to get this cleaned up because I think they will see this and they will hit us with a major crease. Look at him. He's going to run upfield, and instead of condensing and squeezing because we're getting counter, right, we're going to run upfield and basically run ourselves out of the play. We're not actually getting counter. We're getting split zone. My bad. But either way, you see what I'm saying, right? We have an upfield football player who's normally a linebacker, but instead, because of the formational things that we're doing right now, gets bumped into, it's a DB doing so, all right? And he kind of jumps outside, and then we give up a massive crease. We can't do this, all right? It's split zone here. It'll be counter next week, all right? They'll bring another hat for that safety or nickel, whoever ends up showing up late. Whoever that is right there, they'll have a hat for him, okay? That's what I think he's great at, Jonathan. I think he's really, really good at seeing, okay, they're vulnerable here. Let me maximize their vulnerabilities. This note just says 12 moves like 5 stars should move. Watch this from the tight. Look at this dude. When I swear to God, the first time I saw him on film, I was like, hey, that's weird. They got a DB down there in the box lined up because he's built like one. He physically, like he's carrying 6'5", 240 like a person who is 6 foot, 200 pounds, okay? It's freaky, and he's moving like a DB. Watch this right here. We're going to close, see run fit, all right? We see pull away, right? So we're doing what we're supposed to. We're chasing the butt of the offensive lineman running away from us. He'll normally take us to the football if the quarterback keeps, but the quarterback has not, has he, Jonathan? He has given it to the back. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rechase, no wasted steps, close space, and make a tackle. Again, 6'5", 240 pounds. That's what 5 stars look like. Those second, third, and fourth steps right here. This drive phase right there, and then the amount of speed he gains right here is goofy. Goofy. Shouldn't be running down running backs at that size. Go to play 47. I answered my own question on that one. We don't have to watch that. I thought this dude had huge rips all day, did Chambliss. I thought it was the only way they had consistent offense was just like, all right, well, 6 is going to make ridiculous throws today, like this one right here. They get him on the Keonte Scott pressure again. They bring it from the right side of your screen right here. He gets pressure home. All right, there's 0 as a free rusher again. Look how early we throw that football as a quarterback. And it just absolutely gets hooked up with Caden Lee. Also, that guy's a problem. That guy's a real problem. Jonathan, people have the nerve to talk about his arm length. How many times have you seen him do this to people over the last couple weeks? I mean, just ridiculous there in the middle. We got news breaking over there?
Trying to figure it out.
What's going on?
I don't know. Christian just said I got Chauncey.
Oh, Lord. All right. Mass block destruction on the front side is what the notes say. Where's the front side? Probably here to our left.
Oh, he's running it back.
Attaboy. Run this back. Oh, yeah. Oh, the front side of the play concept. All right. Front side, block destruction. Back side, speed. All right, we got 2 plays going on here, Jonathan. We got zone to our left, all right, and we got quarterback Y arc over here to the top, okay? On this side, this front side over here, we got to beat this with mass and block destruction, all right? We got to reset the line of scrimmage on the front side. We got to take it away, all right? And on the back side over here, we got to beat this with speed. We got to chase down a really, really fast ball carrier, inside it out, and leverage the rock properly. They do both exceptionally well. Let's watch the front side destruction, okay? Let's watch 0, 18, 5, and 99. Watch these dudes absolutely dislodge all these blocks and just jack shit up. Look at 5. Just reset the line of scrimmage entirely. 99 with one ankle, by the way. Hurt his ankle on the first play of the football game, beating dudes with speed, getting off the rock. That's what it's all about right there, okay? 15, we got to hold the point really, really firm. That's as good as it gets, right? We did a great job front side of the play. Even if they gave it to the back, he'd be screwed. All right, so on this back side of this play, we got to chase this with speed, don't we, Jonathan? We got a good ball carrier, really, really fast with a plus hat over here. Let's watch the speed. 4's going to make him peel as hard as he can. 8's going to get outside of the tight end, and the corner is going to come down and force it out of bounds. That's a good job right there by all involved.
Just a reminder, you have an important meeting in like 40 minutes.
Who's it with? Never mind, you don't have to tell me.
All right.
40 minutes?
Yeah.
We got time. In my opinion, if we're going to test anybody down here in the flat, so here's what we got. We got 11 driving to the corner. We got 8 driving almost midway through the end zone, and we got 5 driving to the flats right here. If we're going to test anybody of these 3, right, we got 7, we got 24, and we got 0. It best not be 0. Is that safe assumptions, Jonathan? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's just count the math. I know we got 5 on 0, but let's not do that. Okay, let's test 7 out of all these people. And it's a little hindsight right here. Don't get me wrong. I see the film, and I see what it is. But, again, I ain't testing this guy. This guy's been playing absolute lights out. Now, here's what normally is taught. They're probably teaching this bottom up in his progression. So he's probably taught to read this, flat, curl, corner, okay? But great breakup there by the DB. Another sail concept here. They get into cover 3. Still works versus cover 3, right? They ripped this for probably 170 yards in this game. Thought it was interesting. They closed the football game, Jonathan, trying to play man-to-man coverage, trying to pressure the quarterback, trying to play bump and run, and to an extent, getting away with it. Not to an extent. I felt like they did get away with it. Now, hold on. I missed a rep. I thought this right here, we'll close on this. I think this right here is why Miami is where they are. Honest to God. Quarterback's playing really, really good. Yep. Running offensive line playing great. Running back playing great. All right, but the depth that they have found in the middle of the year is what's really important. I showed you number 23, the sophomore, like 7th DB, coming onto the field and making an elite instinctual play early in the football game, almost flipping it on its head, picking it off, right? We watched running backs get thrown into the mix late, young freshman, running back 22. All right, some of the Marquise Lightfoot playing much better football as the year progresses. Well, here we go. We got a freshman corner out here getting thrown into the mix. Kid from Louisiana, 3-star, I think, coming out of high school. All right. And now he's got to go play bump and run with DeBron Stribling, an NFL football player, who we've seen win playoff games this year in bump and run man-to-man coverage. And guess what he does? Plays through the hands, breaks the shit up, gives him that seatbelt, runs his ass back to the huddle and plays another snap. Okay? This is why I think they are where they're at. Like, we could say, oh, transfer portal, oh, 5-star laden, oh, we're collective, yada, yada. Nope, they're developing the roster. That's what they're doing. They're developing the roster mid-year, all right? And that's why they are where they are. Because when it comes down to it in January, all right, and we're playing a really, really important football game, we need that freshman to be ready to play, and that's exactly what Antoine's ready to do. That's a great rep. And I love that Jacoby Thomas is over there being as juiced as we humanly possibly could be for the young cat, all right? That's why they're at where they're at, all right? Also, have you noticed the other thing about this roster? There ain't a lick of wasted money. There's not a single premium position playing dude that is not playing above water football right now, right? Whether it be Malachi Toney playing, 7 times his worth. The quarterback's playing his worth right now. The offensive line's playing their worth. The running back's playing his worth and more, right? DB's playing beyond crazy. Edge rushers have not had a bad day yet. They're playing great football. I'm excited to watch this. I know the line says what the line says, but I think it's going to be a tight ball game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Love you. Bye.